Hi, I'm Jenny, homeschool mama, 4 boys, ages 11, 9, 8, and 5. And I'm going to talk today about some concerns that some parents may have when considering homeschooling. So, a lot of parents worry because their children didn't show an interest in traditional school based forms of learning that they're not going to like homeschooling. Or some homeschoolers, when they first start, the children are resistant to learning in the way that they're presenting it to them. So today we're going to talk about how to deal with this challenge and help you find some ways to instill an interest and a love of learning. The first thing is deschooling. What is deschooling? Deschooling is taking a moment to step away from formal learning and to give you the space to let go of the expectations and cultural norms of the traditional school setting. To see that the teacher doesn't have to be an expert in every subject you're learning, that you don't have grade levels or grades or tests, that you don't have to follow a traditional schedule or use an official curriculum to learn. It's important to deschool to take away the stress that some of those things can cause. Worried about grades, worried about our schedule, worried about if and how well am I going to do. Step back from that and look at what you're interested in. Take time to just explore what you're interested in and what you enjoy. Talk with your children. Go to the library with your children. Watch some documentaries, Netflix, Amazon, YouTube. Go places. Even things being closed now with COVID, there's still lots of online things with a lot of museums. But go to the park, go to the beach, get in the kitchen and cook together. Do some art together. Talk about building things together. But just figure out what interests you and what interests your child and something that you can expand on and learn from. The homeschoolmom.com has some really great articles about deschooling, and I'll put the link in the description for you on that. While you are doing this deschooling process, an important thing to look at is learning styles. Figure out your child's learning style and your learning style as well. It's going to be important for the two of you working together. First, the unique learning styles that we each have. There's visual, somebody who learns by seeing things. This is my husband. He's an artist. I can tell him, hey, we have a party next week. It's not going to sink in. If I put it on a calendar or I send him an email or it's at the, something calendar related for him, it'll sink in and he's not going to miss it. Auditory. These are people that have learned by listening. They like to listen to lectures, to TED Talks, have discussions about things. That's how it sinks in for them. Reading and writing. This is me. In college, I had to rewrite my notes from class. That's how I did well on a test. If I didn't rewrite the notes, I really wasn't going to get a good grade. That's how I do well. Like to read books and write and note take. Kinesthetic learners are the hands-on learners. The kids who like to move as they're learning. I have a child that will do jumping jacks as he's doing math facts, and that sinks in a lot faster than us just sitting on the couch talking about it. This would be a good example here would be a math that they need to touch things as they're doing it as well too. So it'll come in handy when you consider curriculums later on and how they work best for your child. Because if you pick a auditory type curriculum, like say for math, Life of Fred, where it's lots of listening to the story, for a kinesthetic learner, it's not going to sink in. But if you were to use something that's very manipulative heavy, like a Right Start Math or Math UC, would be a much better fit for that kinesthetic learner. That's something to keep in mind. So as you're going through this deschooling process, definitely figure it out. And it's unique. You might have children with very different learning styles, and your learning style as a parent might be very different from your learning styles of your children. And it's important to recognize the differences in how that what I might pick and think would be a great curriculum isn't going to work for my kid. And no matter how hard I try, it's just going to be a flop, and I'm going to need to move on to something else. So there's lots of online tests that you can do and to try to figure out those learning styles, and I'll put those links in there as well. And one other thing to consider is you can also be kind of a hybrid. You can be somebody who is a auditory kinesthetic learner, where you can have some things you learn a little bit better in the auditory side, but other subjects you would be more of a kinesthetic learner. So you can kind of blend those two together, but there's online tests that'll help you figure that out. The next thing is kind of goes along with the deschooling, but it's taking it a step forward and really going with interest-based learning, using what you're interested in to ignite the love of learning. And it's probably something that you already do naturally. Most kids do. If they're interested in it, they're going to learn a lot more. I can ask my kids some history facts of something that we just read, and they might give them back to me. But if I were to throw that into a Minecraft game or ask them to give me details about all of the things of Minecraft, they could go on forever with all of the things they've learned, because that is what interests them. So of course it's going to sink in, and they're going to learn it a lot faster and a lot stronger. People who capitalize on their strengths and their interests and turn them into careers and areas of study, they're going to be a lot more enjoyable life, and they're going to be able to have a lot more successful life, because they're going to love what they do, and it's not going to be a chore. One thing you can do with your kids as you go through the deschooling process, and then as you start to transition into a more formal schooling, is to talk about and make lists of what your current interests are. Go through it. Are there multiple interests there together that you can lump in and put together and expand on even more? Uncover why those interests are appeal to you. Is there something there that, okay, well, this appeals to me because of this reason? I can take that and open up a whole new world of other things because of that same similar appeal. And keep asking why and why and why until you uncover more interest. Because it's possible when you ask your kids or yourself, what are you interested in? I don't know. I have no idea. Well, maybe this, but why that? And when you get that why, then you can turn around and uncover more and more things. So an example would be, one from my personal life is, we were at the beach last week. Kids had the goggles on, and they're looking down and they're enjoying looking at the fish. And why do you like the fish? Well, they're beautiful, Mommy. They're very beautiful. Okay, well, that can turn into an art lesson of drawing the different fish. And from there, what else interests you about the fish? Well, what else is down there? That can go into a lesson on ecosystems of Lake Erie. And maybe there's some shipwrecks down there. What happened during the shipwrecks? We could turn that into a history lesson and then go from there. And all the other things that you can expand on from that. Another thing would be the Japanese comic books. Why are you interested in them? They're beautiful, okay, the art, and we can go through a different art history of comic books. Well, what is else about it? Maybe the language. It's a different language, and it can inspire a learning of a different language. Or is it the culture that's interesting about it? And you could go into a cultural studies or a history of that cultural studies. There's so many things that you can explore just by one little interest. Open it up and look at all the different things that can go with it. So help your child find that thread of something interesting and exciting and follow it. Go down the rabbit hole and learn as much as you can with it. And as you do this, you'll get better at it. It'll get more exciting, and you'll uncover all kinds of new interests, not just for your child, but for your whole family as well. So, if your child still isn't interested in anything and any new things after you go through this, see it as a temporary phase. Do you need to do a little bit more deschooling? Do you need to do some more questions and asking why? Dig a little deeper and see what you can find. Or do a little bit of troubleshooting. Why is there a disinterest in things? Is there maybe some underlying skills that aren't quite strong enough so that you can enjoy those new things? Does reading need to improve so you can read those comic books a little better? Is there math or writing that needs to improve? Take a step back, focus on those skills and just on those skills, and then go back and try again. So you can do it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy your journey.